Hello, welcome to AMCI Saturday Study Session, or SSS. I'm Mrs. J, Curriculum Director here at AMCI, and I am delighted to present AMCI Lead Instructor Ms. Tamika, along with her guest. Without further ado, let's get started. Take it away, Ms. Tamika.
Good morning. Good morning. How is everybody? It is so wonderful to be back with you. Jump right in. I want you to blow me away. That's what that means. I want you to blow me away. All right. All right. We're going to start with this first one, and I'm going to have Miss Andrea come and read us out, and then you guys are going to have 2.5 minutes, and we'll just monitor the chat. I don't know that you'll need that long. Come on, lady. You have the floor.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, coders, we have A 44140, C 18.9, B 44210, D 49.0, C 44155, C 19, D 44213, D 49.0. What are the CPT and ICD-10 CM codes for a hemicolectomy performed on a patient with colon cancer? You got this, coders.
All right, guys, that's our time. If you guys have not gotten that answer in there, go ahead and put it in there before we get rolling on the explanation. I think I'm missing one more person. You know, I'm like a mama hen over here. I literally can count you guys. That's the beauty of group study. I can tell when my coders have gotten that answer in there. I want to be sure you're getting the bang for your buck on this Saturday morning. All right. All right. We're going to jump right into it. Most of you have gotten this one right. For those of you who just missed it, we're going to just give you a little nudge. Okay. And you're going to be real clear. The answer is indeed A. Alrighty, we have the keyword of hemicolectomy, and this person has colon cancer. So, how could you have eliminated the two answers on site? All right, did any of you do that? All right, yeah, totally, yeah. All right, anybody eliminated on site without even opening the book to even look at it? I'm going to tell you how you could have done that. All right, yeah, there we go, Brittany. That's right. Yes, both B and D could have been eliminated on site. Although, like I told you, you do not allow the ICD-10 codes to drive you to your answer. But in this case, you do want to take a look sometimes, because remember how we learn things on site? Remember, if they begin with that letter D, we know that ICD codes that begin with a C are for cancer codes. All right, so that would have eliminated B and D right on site, because this particular code for the colon cancer, we're looking at D49 and D49. Well, we know these are not cancer codes, so we could have taken these two off the table right on site. All right, so like I said, we often don't default to those, but when you have a scenario like that, use that concept of what you can see on site. Okay, all right, so for this one, we are indeed coding for this hemicolectomy. So you guys know I love my midterm. It helps you to become a better coder, a more solidified with your terms. Hemi means half. Hemicolectomy means we're doing half or partial colectomy. All right, so right off the bat, though, this 44213, this is an add-on code. We don't even have to start reading what else it's saying, because this would not stand by itself. It wouldn't be first listed. All right, so we're going to continue on with the 44155. This is a total colectomy. Again, just simply knowing your med terms. This hemi, that's half. All right, that's what we're going for, and this is total, so that one's gone as well. All right, so we're also going to take a look here at 44202. Well, this is a surgical laparoscopy procedure. And if this parent code is incorrect, we already know anything that falls beneath it. This parent common language, again, everything before this semicolon, this is incorrect. So everything that falls underneath, that won't apply in this case, and it doesn't. And it's a total. So it's wrong. All right, so we're going to take him away. All right, again, that's for a total laparoscopic procedure, and that leaves us with our final code. All right, the 44140, a partial colectomy. Yeah, that's what we need. And then we get over here to the ICD-10, and this is for completeness sake. This is indeed for malignant neoplasm of the colon unspecified. So we are exactly where we need to be. All right, so how is everybody feeling about that one? I think you guys are great with that one. Okay, the other thing I want to bring your attention to, also be careful with open and then laparoscopy. When you are moving around in this book, allow these different headings to guide you. When you get to the section that has excision, when you see excision above some codes, that's open, because now we're talking about a knife. So be aware of that, okay? Also, oftentimes it will tell you also where you need to go if it's laparoscopic, but be aware if you're under excision and the code is falling there, and you know you should be dealing with something that is a scope. All right, you already know, I shouldn't be there. Okay, all righty, so grab a screenshot if you need it, and we're going to continue on, because we got a lot of good stuff to get through today. All righty, I'm going to have Miss Chimwee come and read us out again. Then you guys will have 2.5 minutes. Thank you, lady.
Thank you. And the answers are A, 44960, 47562, B, 47562, C, 47562, 4497051, and D, 47562, 4497059. What CPT codes are reported when a physician makes two separate incisions to perform a laparoscopic appendectomy and laparoscopic cholecystectomy. Thank you.
All right, guys, if you have not gotten that answer in there, sneak it on in there so we can go ahead and get to the good stuff and start talking about this answer. All right. I had a little bit of a split, okay? And then with a little nudge, then you guys got there. All right. But hey, no worries. No worries if you just missed it because we're going to get you headed in the right direction. I think that I have gotten everybody's answers. I'm taking a look in the chat. If you're wondering, like, what is she doing? Y'all know how I have to just kind of take a peek. All right. So here we go. All right. We're going to get you there. If you weren't quite sure, I'm going to make sure that you are. All right. So the answer is D, and you guys were teetering between C and D. All right, so we have this physician. They've made two separate incisions to perform this laparoscopic appendectomy and a laparoscopic cholecystectomy. So we have the 44950, we have the appendectomy. All right, and this is wrong too because there was no rupture of an appendix. And this is one of those instances where I was saying you want to look at where the code falls. Okay, that is for an open procedure, it falls under incision. All right, so it's wrong in that front, and also none of these things are true. So this is an incorrect code, and none of you really went for that, but I could see why you would too, because they're like, well, they did do an appendectomy, but not quite as far as the approach and everything. Alrighty, so for 47562, this is laparoscopic surgical cholecystectomy. Oh man, so hey, I like that. I like that. And that is indeed correct because look here, we have all three of these with this. And whenever I see this, That's oftentimes a cue to me that this most likely is not correct, but I go ahead and look at it and make sure. All righty, so that's when you want to go ahead and start with A, and then now we know these two. Yeah, okay, all this is right, but this was a sticking point for most of you, those two. You knew it wasn't quite enough there because we've got to account for that appendectomy. So we're going to continue on because, yeah, we've got the appendectomy as well. So that doesn't code for it. So we take a look at these remaining ones. We have the laparoscopic surgical appendectomy. Everything is the same except for that doggone modifier. And I told y'all when I was a student, I would be like, not the modifier. Okay, so for modifier 51, this is for multiple procedures in the same body area. All right. The thing that separates this thing is that it's distinct. We have two distinct procedures. We have two separate incisions. So that's why you would go with the 59 modifier, okay? Not the 51. We do have multiple procedures, but it's not the same body area. All right. So this is why D with that 59 modifier, that's why that one would be correct. All right. So how are we feeling? Alrighty, so does that make sense with that modifier? Yeah, the two separate procedures. That's right. Uh-huh. Yep, the two separate procedures. And hey, get a screenshot. You might want to put this by your modifiers in the front of the book, just as kind of a little guidepost. All right. So it doesn't trip you up. All right, we don't want to leave nothing on the table. So we're going to keep on going. We have a rather long one, but I want you to take a breath. You guys can and you will do this and be just fine. Don't just take that breath, okay? I'm going to have Miss Andrea come and read us out on this one, and then I'm going to give you guys 2.5 minutes and get the solving. All right, lady.
Okay, coders, we have A 51050 modifier 52, B 51040 modifier 52, C 51040 modifier 53, D 51102 modifier 53. The patient has significant morbid obesity and her penis has been retracted to help with dissection. The planned procedure is to place a catheter tube to drain the bladder. It is apparent she has quite a bit of scarring from her previous surgeries and also appears to have an old sinus tract just above the symphysis. A midline incision is made following her old scar from just above the symphysis for a length of about 4 to 6 centimeters. The sinus tract was excised as this was also in the midline and carefully dissected down to the level of the fascia. It does not appear to be an actual hernia as there are no ventral contents within it. Again, there is quite a bit of distortion from previous scarring because of the obesity, but staying in the midline, the fascia is incised just above the symphysis of a length of about 2 centimeters. The fat and scar is incised above the fascia more superiorly and with palpitation. Mesh from a previous hernia repair is felt. This was not palpable prior to the incision because of her body habitus. The mesh was not exposed or entered. It comes down quite close to the symphysis and certainly is too close to place a suprapubic tube. There is concern the mesh may become infected with an SP tube tract right there. Therefore, a decision to abort the procedure is made. What CPT code and modifier are reported for this service? You got this, coders.
right, how we doing? How we doing? All right, I think most of you are getting it in there. I'm gonna give you guys just a second. All right, I see some more answers coming in there. Some of you just needed just a little bit of a nudge, and if you're still not quite sure, hey, we're gonna get you there. All right, we are going to get you there. No worries. All right, do I have any more takers? All righty. All right, we're going to get started with the explanation and we're going to hop to it. All right, so here we go. We've got the answer is C. And like I said, many of you got that thing, but some of you got a little stuck. So again, how could you quickly have eliminated two of the answers? All right, so you see that we're dealing with essentially three different codes, but notice this modifier on the end. That's right, Brittany, Sonia. Yes, we're not there. We go. All right, we could have eliminated quickly by simply looking at the modifiers. 52 is for reduced services, and 53 is for a discontinued procedure. So right off the cuff, we could get rid of it because look, the decision to abort the procedure is made, meaning it was discontinued. All right, yeah, that's right, Soma. Yeah, abort. So we could have gotten rid of A and B, just boom. We're done with that. So now we can concentrate, get our eagle eyes on C and D. All right, so here are keywords. We have morbid obesity. The penis was retracted. Planned procedure is to place a catheter tube to drain the bladder. A midline incision along that old scar that was 4 to 6 centimeters. The sinus tract was excised. The fascia is incised to 2 centimeters. A fat scar is incised. Mesh from a previous hernia repair is felt, but that thing is a little bit too close to the symphysis and certainly too close to place that suprapubic tube. So concern about that mesh becoming infected was an issue, so they decided to abort the procedure. This was indeed a planned procedure. All right, there we go. That's what we wanted to do. Now we take a look, because these are two terms that you're going to see in the code selection. A cystotomy is a surgery to specifically provide drainage via a tube or catheter, and a cystoscopy, cystotomy and cystomy. This one is the incision into the bladder, tomy. All right, this is an incision into the bladder that allows the surgeon to look inside. All right, so we want to be clear on that. Okay, so here we go. We've got the 51040, and I brought it over here too, just so we can keep track of it. All right, so 51040, that is a cystotomy or cystostomy with drainage. I need to get my coffee, y'all. All right, so we're going to give that a light yes, because that is where we want to be between these two things, but we need to check out 51102, all right? And this one is with drainage, and that's what the procedure is for. We're placing that catheter tube to drain that bladder, all right? So this cystolithotomy, though, yeah, we don't need that. Okay, so that's what the 5150. I'm just giving you that for completeness sake. If anybody's like, well, why didn't we choose that? I want to know what those are. That's what the 5150 code was for, okay? Cystolithotomy, and that didn't happen. All right, so we're going to continue on. We have the parent code of 51100, aspiration of the bladder. All right, that didn't happen. And so because this common code language of this parent is incorrect, you already know once you locate the code that falls up under it, it's going to be wrong as well, regardless of what it's saying, because this common language is incorrect. All right, and we did not have aspiration of the bladder with insertion of this suprapubic catheter. That automatically leaves you with 51040, just that quickly. But we're going to talk about the reduced services. This would be under certain circumstances where the procedure is reduced or eliminated at the discretion of the physician or other healthcare provider. All right, so it wasn't eliminated, it was aborted. All right, so this here, it was discontinued. All right, so here we notice the decision to abort. That's the same as discontinue it. Okay, so this was due to extenuating circumstances. They were concerned that it would become infected. All right, so that's why that one that applies with the discontinued. Okay, so how is it? I know this was a lot to read through. And really, with all of these things that you see in here, really, this is simply a description of them really taking a look around and making an incision and looking, and they're seeing this person has had some surgeries, obviously, probably at least 2 or 3 or so. They've got scarring going on, that old scar here they're talking about. So don't let all of that, while you're reading through, you are looking for key words. And this is just describing what they're seeing. And even once they're describing cutting down, getting down, going down through the fascia and getting down here. And when they get here, now they're noticing, okay, they've got a mesh and this doesn't look too good. Okay, so that's what all this stuff is saying. But this is what we start looking at. The decision to abort. That's probably got something to do with these modifiers, and it did. And right here is telling you what the procedure was. They want to place this catheter to drain the bladder, and it wasn't able to be performed. Okay, so that's why we're sticking here, and that's why I was giving you these particular definitions. It was aborted. Okay, they were not able to perform it. So does that make sense? All right, I don't want you guys to get freaked out on the exam. Just start hunting for keywords and be clear about the meaning of certain words. I don't want you going through trying to define everything, but certain words, if you see them quite often, you just kind of want to make yourself a quick note so that you're clear. All right. So if anybody needs to grab a screenshot, you may, and then we're going to continue on. All right. All right. Got it. That's good to hear. All right, we're going to keep on rocking and rolling. All right, so here we go. All right, Miss Chewy, I'm going to have you come and beat us out, lady. Thank you.
Thank you. And the answers are A, 49561, K, 40.90, B, 49566, K, 43.0, C, 49566, 49568, K, 43.0, and D, 49561, 49568, K, 43.1. A 42-year-old patient is brought to the operating room for a repair of a recurrent incarcerated incisional hernia using mesh. What CPT and ICD-10 CM codes are reported? Thank you.
All right, how we doing? How we doing? All right, I got some good answers in there. I see people trying to make a decision between some answers. All right, all right. I think everybody's doing it. I'm loving what I say. All righty. Yeah, all right. I'm gonna give you guys one more sec or two to get your answer in there before we spill the beans. All righty. Yeah, Miss Sonia, you saw it now? Yeah, I tell you, these words, they can sneak up on you, right? All right, so I love it when it's like this. When you see this, you notice you're only dealing with two codes. So you gotta go ahead and make a decision. Okay. This is good when you just gotta make that decision. Like right now, you gotta make that doggone decision. And then you already know you're 50% there, right? So the answer is indeed C. All right, so we have this 42-year-old. They have come in for a repair of a recurrent incarcerated incisional hernia using a mesh. All right, so recurrent. Yeah, I see you, Soma. That's right. That's right. That is a game changer there. All right, so when we look at 49560, this is for an initial repair. All righty, so we already know with this parent, because this is incorrect, we know that those dependents, hey, whatever they're saying, that's not going to be correct either. So we're getting rid of A, just boom, right off the bat. And D, boom, you're out of here. All right, look at that. So already we're down here to the Y. Now, everything is the same, but that right there, that 49565. This is for recurrent. Yeah, that's what we need. It is recurrent. All right. So we know that that's the right code. We got a code for here. It is what? It's incarcerated. All right. So this is incisional and it is incarcerated. So that's why we're going to code for that 49566. And you guys were pretty clear on that. This was the issue right here, this 49568. All right, with the exception of the incisional hernia repairs, we're going to see code 49560 through 49566. Okay, the use of mesh or other prosthesis is not separately reported, with the exception of those codes. Okay. Alrighty. So we need what? We got to record for that mesh. It's not bundled into that code. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so there we go. 49568 is needed. We've got to have that mesh with that. And again, it is for open incisional or ventral hernia repair mesh for closure. Hey, we're right where we need to be. Alrighty, so it's telling us to use this 49568 in conjunction with these codes. Boom, there we go. 49566. This one's missing the mesh, and that one has it. And this is just for completeness sake. Once you get here, I don't want you looking in that ICD-10 book, okay? Don't go looking. All right, that's for the initial hernia. That's for the mesh. Let me show you something, how I have it in my book, because this, it didn't really help me all that much. I mean, it did sometimes. It depended on the day. It depended on the day when I would read it, and it makes sense. So let me show you what I did. There we go. Look at that code. Look at this group of codes. It's only 4 of them. All right. I put in my book plus 49568 add-on code needed. Mesh, not bundle. Boom. That's this right there. You're set. Then you're set. That way, once you got this code right here, you already knew. Oh, boom. I even put the code there. If I see any of these 4, I need to see this too. Okay, I need to see this too if they start talking about a mesh. All right, does that make sense? I hope that helps you guys, because for me, any way that I can just be very succinct and just narrow it down and cut to the chase, yeah, it is the exception. That's right, Sonia. So yeah, this is how I have it in my book, so that I'm clear about these 4 codes. If they're talking about a mesh, I'm gonna need this add-on code, and then you are golden. All right, so that's it for this one. Does anybody have any questions? Yeah, yeah, that's right. So yeah, you could easily miss this one, but you guys won't miss it again. You guys are set and ready to roll. So we're gonna keep on rolling, and I'm gonna have Miss Andrea come and read us out again.
Okay, we have A 43754, R40.20, T42.71XA, B 43753, T42.4X1A, R40.20, C43756, T42.71XA, D43755, T43.501A. A 4-year-old patient who accidentally ingests Valium found in his mother's purse is found unconscious and rushed to the ED. The child is treated by the ED physician who inserted a tube orally into the stomach and performed a gastric lavage, removing the stomach contents. What CPT and ICD-10 CM codes are reported? You got this, coders.
All righty, I think everybody is done. You guys were super, super quick on this one. Super quick. I don't think I have any more takers. I see some more coming in there. I see you. I see you. Yeah. All right. Do we have any more takers? I don't want to start talking about this thing and give it away. All right. I think I've got everybody now. All right. I tell you, you guys did outstanding. Outstanding. So we're going to just briefly touch on this thing and go ahead and move on to the next one. All right. So we have here, it is answer B. And I do believe everyone pretty much got that thing. If you didn't the first time with a little nudge, you did. This is a 4-year-old, and this little person has accidentally ingested Valium. They've been found unconscious, and the ED physician, after arriving at the ED, they inserted a tube orally into the stomach. They performed gastric lavage, removing the stomach contents. So we have for code 43754. All right, this is gastric intubation and aspiration diagnostic. All right, this procedure is therapeutic, not diagnostic. All right, so we're going to take a look with what's up under it. We already know this is going to be incorrect because what? That parent code is incorrect. So we're going to take that off. If you're wondering why I always drive that point home, is because once you know this is incorrect, anything falling up under here, go ahead and just take it off. When you see it, take it off. Don't start reading through this whole thing. This is wrong. This common language. Again, this common language. If this is wrong, that's wrong. And this is wrong too. Anything else up under there. All right. So already we are at 50% chance of getting this right. Here we go. We have a duodenal intubation and aspiration. This is diagnostic. Okay. This is gastric, not duodenal or diagnostic. So 43756, that's incorrect. And we are going to go with 43753 because indeed they inserted this tube and we had gastric lavage going on. Removing those stomach contents, those keywords have matched. Again, keyword concept, that thing can drive it home. All right, you guys did outstanding. And you guys know I love being clear about what things mean. And you're going to see therapeutic and diagnostic at varying times through your book. So therapeutic is any medical or surgical procedure performed in order to repair, remove, or otherwise heal any previously determined health concern. What are we doing today with this little person? We're removing the gastric contents. All right. If it were diagnostic, it's an examination to identify in an individual's specific areas of weakness in order to determine a condition or disease. This person's coming in because we need to remove these gastric contents because of this accidental ingestion of Valium. So we're looking for therapeutic. So there you go. You know, I just like to, boom, get it in there for you, okay? I want you guys to be clear because sometimes when you get on the exam, you know, but I want you to know that you know. I don't want the nerves to get the best of you. And here you see, I like also maybe putting, you know, either highlighter or just kind of circling it. You see, these things are diagnostic because you might have, you know, I don't know, a scenario, and you can quickly tell also with that keyword there, therapeutic. These others are diagnostic. That's another way you could have knocked it out the park too. All right. So we want to have several ways to get to that answer. And you guys know this is simply for completeness sake because on that exam, you are not going to be opening that ICD-10 book until you have to. All right. You will have some that are specific for ICD-10. That's when you do it or when you need to have a tiebreaker. But in this case, you don't need it. But this is simply to let you know, yeah, that's what those codes stand for. Okay. All righty. So here we go. We're going to keep on rolling. I'm going to have Miss Andrea come and read us out. I'm glad it was what you needed, Miss Sonia. And you are welcome as well, Miss Brittany. Here we go. All right. Come on, Miss Andrea. You have the floor, lady.
Okay, we have A 49000 modifier 58, B 49000 modifier 77, C 49402 modifier 77, D 49402 modifier 78. Margaret has a cholecystoenterostomy with a Roux-en-Y. 5 hours later, she has an enormous amount of pain, abdominal swelling, and a spike in her temperature. She is returned to the OR for an exploratory laparotomy and subsequent removal of a sponge that remained behind from surgery earlier that day. The area had become inflamed and was demonstrating early signs of peritonitis. What is the correct coding for the subsequent services on this date of service? The same surgeon took her back to the OR as the one who performed the original operation. What CPT code is reported? You got this, coders.
All right, I see lots of great answers in there. If you guys were not sure, you guys with a little nudge, you got sure, okay? And some of you guys are like, I don't know, I don't know, I can't decide, I can't decide. It's A or D, it's A or D. All righty, the answer is D, and we're going to get you there. All right. I know I had lots of smiling faces in that chat. You guys are doing outstanding. I see the growth. So here we have Margaret. She's had this cholecystoenterostomy with a Roux Y, and she's returned to the OR for an exploratory laparotomy, subsequent removal of a sponge that remained behind earlier. Now we know that was not intentional. Subsequent services. What are we coding for? We are coding for the correct subsequent services on that date. The same surgeon who performed the original operation is going to have to go back. How could we have solved this scenario without even looking at the code? All right. I got any takers? I saw some folks talking about that modifier in the chat. I saw Soma referencing that thing. Yes, I saw Miss Regina. Yeah, the modifiers. I see you, Renata, Andrea, Sonia, Chandria. Yeah, look at those modifiers. Like I told you guys, when I was a student, I was just like, why the modifiers? Why? Why? Oh, yeah, the modifiers do give it away, Sonia. All right, so 58 is for a staged or modified procedure. Well, oftentimes if it's staged, that's something that's planned. Okay, so they're doing a little work and then they're gonna prepare the patient and then they're gonna do a little bit more. So that's not what's going on in this case. So we can get rid of that one. And with 77, it's a repeat procedure. All right, we're not repeating something. We are repeating it, but we're having to go back because it's unplanned. All right, that same physician is having to go back for an unplanned return because these sponges have been left behind. All right, so we're going to take a look at how we get there. That's just a sneak peek on how you could do it with the modifiers. But if you're not quite comfortable, because as a student, I wasn't the modifiers when I was learning, I still was like, well, just tell me about that code, okay? Just tell me about that code, and then we'll talk about that modifier. So we're coding for the subsequent service. All right, the subsequent service. We know that the patient had all of this done, but we're coding for that subsequent service. They're going back. They're not repeating the procedure. They're going back. They're exploring because they're looking for the sponge. All right, exploratory laparotomy. Laparotomy is an incision into the abdominal wall. So they're going to open this patient back up, and this surgeon has got to find this sponge. All right, got to. So that's the subsequent service. All right, so exploratory laparotomy with exploratory chelotomy with or without biopsy, separate procedures. Okay, well, we're not doing all that. Okay, so and the modifier is wrong. So we're going to take these two away. All right, so we're going for subsequent removal. Here we go. Removal of peritoneal foreign body from the peritoneal cavity. All right, so even though they're exploring, so don't let this verbiage get you. This is more specific too. All right, and we didn't have this here too. So that would make it wrong as well. So although we're exploring, this is more specific. We're removing this peritoneal foreign body or this sponge. All right. So 49402, that's good stuff. So we've got it down to C and D, but that modifier, another reason 77 is wrong because it's by another physician. This is the same surgeon. All right, so that one, oh, but unplanned, same physician following the initial procedure. This is unplanned, y'all. They didn't plan to go back in there. Who plans to leave a sponge? But it does happen. All right, so this is what necessitated the return was that sponge. So it was unplanned. Same surgeon. All right, that was what the foreign body is. That's how we got to D. All right, yeah, that did give it away, Sonia. Yeah, Chandria. Yep, the modifiers rule. All right, so I think you guys have the swing of it. So we're going to keep on rolling. I've got one more with digestive, and then we will go ahead and move on into urinary for male and female. But we're going to do one more. I'm going to have Miss Chinwe come and read us out. Thank you so much, lady.
Thank you. And the answers are A, 4222052, Q 35.7, and R 56.9. B 422253, Q 35.9, R 56.9. C 4221553, Q 35.9, 56, R 56.9, and D 4221576, Q 35.7, R 56.9. An 11-year-old patient is seen in the OR for a secondary palatoplasty for complete unilateral cleft palate. Shortly after general anesthesia is administered, the patient begins to seize. The surgeon quickly terminates the surgery in order to stabilize the patient. What CPT and ICD-10 CM codes are reported for the surgeon? Thank you.
All right, how we doing? How we doing? I got some good stuff going on. Yeah, look here. You're right, Sonia. You are going to get the big scoop of ice cream with the cherry and the sprinkles on top. Okay. I see y'all are all in this chat just showing out. I'm loving it. All right, so we're gonna hop to it because I got some great scenarios for you guys with male and female urinary. Okay, so the answer is B. All right, so let's take a look at how most of you got here. Some of you that were teetering with a little bit of a nudge, you got there. All right, so I'm going to help you get clear. Again, we are back to these modifiers, right? All right, so we've got this 11-year-old. They've had a secondary palatoplasty, complete unilateral cleft palate. Okay, after this general anesthesia was administered, this patient began to seize, so the surgeon had to quickly terminate this surgery. All right, we have this palatoplasty for cleft palate. All right, this is for a major revision. All right, but what we're going for is a secondary procedure. So 42215 can be eliminated, and already C and D, they're off the table. And most of you did that. That was not the sticking point for you. It was indeed that modifier. All right, so 42220 secondary lengthening procedure. We got that. You guys were clear. It's the difference between that 52 and 53. Well, 52 is for reduced services. It's for partially reduced or eliminated. Okay, the service is reduced. Okay, meaning that for whatever reason, the physician has decided under certain circumstances to at their discretion to either eliminate or reduce it, meaning they're going to just not quite do everything. But really, this was not truly at the provider's discretion. Okay, so you can't say it was reduced because it wasn't even started. What happened was they began, okay, I got another note there. Okay, 52 is a reduction of services by choice. Okay, it wasn't at their discretion, it was rather out of necessity because this patient began to seize. All right, so with 53 it was discontinued because they had to, because it was due to extenuating circumstances or those that would threaten the well-being of the patient. So even if you were teetering between the two, that's why I like to go to the back of the book and kind of make myself notes so that I'm clear. You can see this just from the wording. The service was partially reduced or eliminated. Maybe they started to do something and they're like, we don't need to quite do all of this. We're going to do this. So they're going to do the 52. But this would be at the provider's discretion. This 53 better describes what was going on. Okay. They elected to terminate this surgical procedure. What were the extenuating circumstances? This patient seizing. All right. That would threaten the patient's well-being. That's why that 53 is our code of choice. And we already know, like I said, the ICD-10, CM, I just always put those in there for completeness sake, okay? Because these are the ones that are going to drive you, all right? Okay, so does that help everybody? Because I know, like, discontinuing and reduce, and you're like, yeah, but like I said, if you're not sure, kind of dig around in there. Go ahead and make those quick notes now so that when you're on the exam, if you need to quickly remind yourself, you already have it either highlighted or boxed like this or some little note to yourself. Okay. All right. So we are done with this particular section. Okay, here I go again. Second look at the modifiers. Yeah, there we go. Here we go. If you guys want to grab screenshots of that too, these modifiers, if you want that, you can have it. And then we're going to keep going because, again, I know I'm driving these modifiers, but the reason I'm doing it too is because I know from looking at you guys from this group, you guys are arriving at the proper codes, but I don't want these modifiers to trip you up. So if you got a modifier, you're going to still get to where you need to go. All right. So I'm going to pause the screen and move ahead to where I need to go. All right. So we're going to hop on over here, and this is where I want to be. All right, we're going to start with some urinary, male and female. We're going to get some good stuff in. All right, are you guys ready to change gears? So I need you to flip on over to our next series of codes. We're going to head on into this 50,000 series and get some good coding in. And I am going to have Miss Andrea come and read us with this first scenario. And let's get you here. All right, guys, I'm looking for some great stuff in this chat. Let's hop to it. Thank you, lady.
Okay, coders, we have A 54400, B 54416, C 54408, D 54401. Patient is status post radical retropubic prostatectomy with erectile dysfunction, presenting for penile implant. An inflatable penile prosthesis is inserted. What CPT code is reported for this service? You got this, coders.
All right, if you hadn't got that answer in there, I need you to slide it in there. All right. I'm going to give everybody just a few more seconds and then we are going to rock and roll with this thing. All righty. I like to see whatever your answer is. I appreciate you guys all participating because that helps us to see what you need just a little bit of a nudge on because I can tell you guys have been working and the answers that you guys are giving are great. And even when you're not quite there, you are very close and that is the purpose of your coming to your group study so that we can help you get right where you need to be. All right. And you guys are showing out today. The answer is indeed D. All right. So we have this penile implant. It's an inflatable penile prosthesis that was inserted and we're going to take a look at code 54400. This is the insertion of a penile prosthesis, but it is non-inflatable. This is an inflatable one. This one really is simply driven by the keywords. All right, so we got to look at this thing again here, paying attention to this common code language. All right, insertion of penile prosthesis. That's what we see, inflatable. I'm going to give this a light yes because we need to check out these remaining codes to be sure. Code 54408, repair of components of, no, we have an insertion. We don't even have to keep reading. Yeah, it's inflatable and all that, but we are not repairing anything. We are indeed inserting this prosthesis. So 54408 is off the table. 54416, removal and replacement. No, none of that's taking place. We are inserting this implant. So boom, right off the bat, that one's gone. And that leaves us with 54401. And so this is a key example of keyword concept as well as understanding everything before this semicolon is common language and it applies to everything below. So if this wording, if the notation, if what this code is saying is good before the semicolon, you definitely got to start taking a look at the dependents. Just because this parent was wrong, that doesn't mean that these aren't. See, and you see it in this case. It wasn't non-inflatable, it was inflatable. Both an insertion of a penile prosthesis, but we're looking for the inflatable prosthesis, okay? So it's always just a little tweak. That's what it means to be forensic. It's just a matter of really this word right here, none. Okay. All right. So I know you coders are doing outstanding. Like I said, I saw you guys pivoting and getting to where you needed to go. All right, Miss Chinwe, if you could come and read us on this one, lady, I'd appreciate you.
All right. And the answers are A, 55873, C, 61, B, 55873, C, 79.82, C, 55873, D, 07.5, and D, 55875, C, 61. Cryosurgical ablation of the prostate is performed for prostate cancer. What CPT and ICD-10-CM codes are reported for this service?
All right, I see y'all in that chat. I see y'all in that chat doing what you do. I am loving it, loving it, loving it. All right. So we're gonna hop to it. Do I have any more takers? I think I've got all of you in there. And hey, I would say majority of you guys got this right. If you needed a little bit of a nudge, we gave it to you. And if some of you still weren't quite there, we're going to help you get there. Okay. So your answer is A. We have cryosurgical ablation of the prostate to perform for prostate cancer. All right. So we have for code 55873, this is cryosurgical ablation of the prostate. Yeah, that's what was going on there. And this is for prostate cancer. All right. So already you see I knocked this one out of there. It's this is correct, but that right there, remember we talked about earlier, this patient has prostate cancer. So we can go ahead and get rid of this ICD-10 code starting with a D because this person has a diagnosis of cancer. All righty. So here we go with 55875. Okay. Transperineal placement of needles or catheters. There was no mention of that. This person again is having cryosurgical ablation. So 55875 is off the table. All righty. So what else do we have left here? Now we gotta get down into the weeds here with this one. All right. So this is nice when you're just dealing with two lead codes. We've gotten rid of this one because that was just, that was our outlier, as Miss Tracy would say. And then this one we could get rid of because it's not even starting with the cancer code. It's starting with D. So we're already at 50%. And you guys know I love getting it down to either 3 or ideally 50-50. So that allows us more time to be even more forensic. So C79.8, this is a secondary malignancy, secondary malignant neoplasm of the genital organs. All right. And then we have carcinoma in situ of the prostate. This is for that one. So that's why that one's not there. Okay. So this one, this is the one we're looking for. It's not secondary malignant neoplasm of the genital organs. Specifically, we have malignant neoplasm of the prostate. All right. No mention of it being a secondary malignancy. So this is our code. It is A. So for those of you who were teetering between the two, all right, specifically C61 says malignant neoplasm of the prostate. It's that one. All right. So don't let it trip you up. Yeah, it was saying neoplasm of the genital organs. That is a genital organ, but more specifically, it is the prostate. And there is no mention that this is a secondary malignancy. Okay. All right. So how we doing? All right, you guys are doing outstanding. I know you guys can do this, okay? I know you can. All right, so we're going to keep rolling and we're going to move on to this next one. And I'm going to have Miss Andrea come and read us out on this one. Thank you so much, lady.
Ooh. Okay, coders, we have A 52648 52204, B 52647, C 52649, 52224, modifier 59, D 52648, and 52224, modifier 59. Preoperative diagnosis is cytologic atypia and gross hematuria. Postoperative diagnosis, cytologic atypia and gross hematuria. Procedure performed, cystoscopy and random bladder biopsies and green light laser ablation of the prostate. Description: bladder biopsies were taken of the dome, posterior bladder wall, and lateral side walls. Bugby was used to fulgurate the biopsy sites to diminish bleeding. Cystoscope was replaced with the cystoscope designed for the green light laser. We introduced this into the patient's urethra and performed green light laser ablation of the prostate down to the level of verumontanum on the prostatic crest near the wall of the urethra. There was some calcifications at the left apex of the prostate, causing damage to the laser, but adequate vaporization was achieved. What CPT codes are reported for this service? You got this, coders.
All right, guys, how we doing? How we doing? Yeah, this one was a little bit tricky for many of you, and that is okay. That is perfectly okay. All right, we're gonna hop to it here. Everybody's getting their answers in, so I want to give you guys ample time to get your answer in there so that myself and these beautiful ladies can respond to you guys. And then we will start talking about how we got to the answer. All right. So if I have any more takers, go ahead and get your answers in there. I'm gonna give you guys about 10 more seconds and give myself and these wonderful ladies a few more seconds so we can be sure that we have addressed everybody in the chat. All right, I think we got everybody now. We had just a few people trailing in, and we're gonna hop to it. Okay. All right. So the answer is indeed D. And I see folks still slide answers in there, and hey, that's okay. See, I'm trying to buy y'all some time. I know you wanna answer before we give the reveal. So the post-operative diagnosis is cytologic atypia with gross hematuria. This procedure performed was the cystoscopy and random bladder biopsies with a green light laser ablation of the prostate. We had bladder biopsies of the dome, the posterior bladder wall, the lateral side walls. We had to fulgurate the biopsy sites. A cystoscope was replaced with the cystoscope for the green light laser. Then the patient's urethra, we introduced into the urethra this green light laser ablation of the prostate. All right. And then we're going all the way down to the wall of the urethra. There are some calcifications of the left apex of the prostate, and vaporization was achieved. Woohoo! A whole lot's going on with this particular procedure. So let's hop to it. We have code 52647. This is for laser coagulation of the prostate. We had laser vaporization. All right. So even when we have all of this stuff going on, the key words, those are your guideposts to help pivot you to where you need to go. So we did not have laser coagulation, so we can go ahead and get rid of code 52647. What about 52648? Laser vaporization of the prostate. Yeah, that looks like good stuff because we talked about this green light laser ablation. All right, so we're going to hold our thoughts on that one and take a look at 52649. This was laser enucleation. All right, and that did not happen. So that one's gone. So we are already at A and D. So we got to take a look at these second codes here. We have 52204. This is cystourethroscopy with biopsies. And then we have 52224, cystourethroscopy with fulguration. There we go. Okay, one of them is biopsies. Okay, but the bladder biopsies, they were taken. All right, but there's more of a specific code available. Remember, going back to the very beginning when you're learning coding, that we always want to code to what? Provider certainty and specificity. All right, so that's why we're going to take away 52204 because this is more specific. Not only did we have the cystourethroscopy, but it was with fulguration and with the biopsy. See, we've got the fulguration and then we had the biopsies as well. All right, with the biopsies. That's why code 52224 with the 59 modifier, because that is indeed a distinct procedure, in addition to this laser vaporization, that is why this is your answer. Keisha, you were trying to answer before I spoke. I was trying. All right. So, how does everybody feel now? Okay. All right. I'm not seeing anybody say okay. I think everybody's like, oh man. Good, Sonia, you got it. All right. I got Sonia V and I got Sonia B. All right. Yeah, the fulgurate. That's right. Yeah, it is. Again, I know this is a lot to go through, but start with the keywords. Another thing you can do that I would do as well, start looking at these codes. You know, you're working with really just three because these two are the same. So if you're not sure where quite to begin, you got an idea, look at the codes and start comparing. Okay, laser coagulation. I don't remember seeing that. So you look and you're like, no, it was laser ablation. Boom, that's gone. Laser enucleation, I didn't see that. No. So you can go back and forth with it like that. Okay, so you read through, circle the things you know you're probably going to be asked about, but start looking at the codes and start eliminating that way. That will give you a starting point. Okay. Yeah, it was a lot of keywords to go through. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get this next one in. I think we got time to at least get two more in. All right, I am going to have, who's reading now? Miss Chinwe. All right, lady, come on to the floor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And the answers are A, 54150, B, 54160, C, 5415052, and D, 5416052. A clamp circumcision is performed without dorsal block on a newborn. What CPT code is reported for this service?
All right, guys, we are going to have to do the reveal. If you need to get that answer in, come on, pop it on in the chat. Pop it on in the chat. All right, here we go. All right, we've got this clamp circumcision performed without a dorsal block on a newborn. What is that CPT code reported for this service? It is C. All right. All right. So, for those of you who weren't quite there, we're going to get you there. I see you, Renata. She got that thing in as soon as I said it. She was just like, boom. I'm sliding it in there. All right, I'm going to help you guys with this if you were going back and forth. This particular group of codes used to give me fits depending on the day I got it right and I was clear, and other days not so much. So here we go. We've got this circumcision using a clamp. So we're good on that part. We know, yeah, they've got a clamp for this circumcision. So we're going to go ahead and just say, yeah, we're going to take a look at that. We're going to hold that one. We're not going to report this modifier 63 in conjunction with 54150. All righty, this is for an infant that's less than 4 kilograms. All right, and then we're going to report this with a modifier 52 when performed without the dorsal penile block. So this is without the dorsal penile block. All right, so it's reduced services. All right, so we're going to take that one away because it doesn't have the 52 modifier because they have performed it without the dorsal block. That right there is telling you you're going to need it because it was indeed without it. All right, for 54160, that was for a surgical circumcision. This was not performed surgically. They used a clamp. All right, there we go. 54160. That's why that one's off the table, and that's why 54150 is your choice. Okay, and that clamp, it is literally a clamp, and they will do it without any anesthesia on the newborn. I have seen it done, and they will do it just with that bell clamp. They'll put it there, and that baby is wailing. And you know when you can start cutting when the baby stops wailing. That's right, Sonia. Ow! All right, so I'm going to give you a brief chun chat, okay? Remember that the dorsal penile or ring block, all right, it's anesthesia, all right, this here, this, okay, this is with the regional dorsal penile or ring block, okay? And this one, this is when they have no anesthesia. So the clamp, really, they say that's anesthesia, but that really ain't no anesthesia. So, but this is how I have it chunked, just so you can remember. Okay, so you're going to have clamp, and then you have anesthesia. If no anesthesia, this is without the dorsal ring block, okay, then that right there, you're going to use the 52. And then if they're talking about surgery, okay, sometimes they do it surgically, then that's when you would use the 54160. So if you're curious, this is how I have it notated in my book. Excision surgical. If no anesthesia, meaning without that dorsal penile or ring block, then you're going to need the 52. And this is without it. Okay. And this is your clamp. And that's when it has the anesthesia. Okay. So you can either put that there, but really just this will do you. Clamp, if no anesthesia, 52. And then bring that to your attention without. All right. And then this one here is going to be used if the baby is less than 28 days. So just these little brief little things, like I said, be succinct with your chun and you should be good. Okay. All right. So we're going to do this next one. You are so welcome, Miss Sonia. I hope that helps you guys. Because like I said, I would teeter with just that little bitty bundle of codes. All right, so we're going to read this one real quick and then give you time to slide these answers in here before we go. All righty, lady, you ready? Who's read next? Miss Andrea. Come on, lady.
Okay, we have A 52282, B 53855, C 52332, D 50605. The patient is a 53-year-old male with a benign prostatic hypertrophy causing urinary obstruction and requires the placement of a temporary urethral stent. What CPT code is reported for this service? You got this, coders.
Oh, yeah, I see lots of good answers in here. Lots of good answers. If you need to get it in there, you know I got to spill the beans, y'all, because we got to get out of here in a few moments. So, hey, if you got an answer that you're holding on to, go ahead and pop it in that chat. But I am seeing straight across the board, you guys have finished with a bang. I know I got some folks celebrating, and I know you're dancing. I know you're dancing. Some of you might be up, or some of you might be just swaying with your hands up in the air. Go ahead, put your hands in the air, folks. Let's do it. Yeah, it was indeed B, and you guys got there in just, I mean, like, really quickly, and you guys did an outstanding job. Outstanding. So this 53-year-old male has benign prostatic hypertrophy with urinary obstruction. Okay, that's what this hypertrophy is doing. They are going to place a temporary urethral stent. So for 50605, this is a urethrotomy for insertion of an indwelling stent. No, we didn't have any of that going on. They're having placement of a temporary stent, not indwelling. Then we have code 52282. This is for a cystourethroscopy with insertion of a permanent urethral stent. That's not going on. Again, keywords. Keywords are driving you. All right. The cystourethroscopy here with insertion of, yet again, an indwelling stent. Different procedures going on, but they're still trying to put that indwelling stent. And no, that's not what we have. We have insertion of a temporary prostatic urethral stent. That's what we need, that code 53855. All right. So always, you will notice a common thread, regardless of whether or not you need any FTRs or you're dealing with modifiers. You've got to use these keywords to drive you to the proper code so that you choose wisely. All right. I know they can too. So yeah, some of them can drive you nuts, and then some of them are straight to the point. So, guys, it is always my sincere pleasure to hang out with you. I'm going to have these beautiful ladies come to the floor. Please, before you guys go, I need you guys, if you would be so kind, let us know how you enjoyed the class or what we could do to continue to facilitate your learning. Come on, Miss Chinway, and then Miss Andrea. Come on and say something to these beautiful coders, lady.
You guys did a wonderful job today. Really amazing stuff out here, and I can see a lot of good stuff going on. It shows you've been doing your coding, you've been doing your churning, and thank you for hanging out with us this morning. I wish you an amazing weekend.
Hey, coders, you all did an amazing job this weekend. And do not get discouraged when you don't get the answers correct. This is where you want to get it wrong so you can figure out why you got it wrong. And then you won't forget. And then you'll just go into the exam that much more confident. Thanks so much for hanging out with us this weekend. And I hope you have a great rest of your weekend.
Thank you so much, lady. All right, guys, it has been my pleasure. Again, you guys have bought it today. I am so humbled that you guys think enough of us to share your treasured time on Saturday. All right. And
Thank you for watching an AMCI exclusive presentation in partnership with AAPC. Until next time.